I'm Todd Hendrix. I'm from Ellicott City, Maryland. Played 4 years of baseball at York. One thing led to another, kind of found my way at Salisbury, and I've never looked back. I've done pretty much any training philosophy that you can name, done it all. They don't really see you as like a person outside of the weight room and on the field, just see you as a number. By doing your program, it's definitely made me more flexible, opened up some of the areas of my body that needed to be opened up. For me, it was about staying healthy, getting as flexible as I can, and just learning how to move well. From going to throw 10 innings at Salisbury to just throwing 35 over the course of basically 2 months in summer ball, hit the halfway point through the summer season and basically had a full gas tank left. Having that communication and feeling like that you're a friend, but you're also an athlete at the same time. The program's awesome, just like the mental side. Some outings this summer where I felt like I could have done better, you were like, it's all about the process. You have to take away kind of what you did well in that outing and what you didn't do well and apply it to the next one. So a person wants to play high level college baseball, you obviously have to look at where you are in your playing career. I played with guys who didn't put in a lot. They didn't get out a lot. We both got out what we put in. We definitely got high results and high yield out of the long days that we put in.
I'm here with Todd Hendrix. Todd is a fellow Seagull. Salisbury University, baby. We love it. So I'm going to pass it off to Todd here. Todd's a right-handed pitcher, the Rhino of JV Performance. I gave him the nickname, but he embodies it well. So only guy I had to order a XXX shirt for so far. So that should tell you something, but I'll pass it off to you, Todd. Just tell myself and anybody watching this a little bit about yourself. Tell us about, your background and everything, and ultimately, what kind of led to us working together.
So I'm Todd Hendrix. I'm from Ellicott City, Maryland. So I'm Howard County, like Jack. Went to Centennial High School, graduated there in 2018, and then played 4 years of baseball at York in Pennsylvania. During my time there, started as a reliever, freshman, sophomore, and junior year. Junior year, I tore my left hamstring. So that was kind of definitely threw a wrench in my plans. Definitely was thinking about leaving York and transferring somewhere after my sophomore year. But then with COVID, we were at Randolph-Macon my sophomore year when everything got shut down. Basically, it was the seventh inning, and our coach said, this is it. Like, put all the seniors in, basically a farewell tour for them. Junior year, we switched conferences. So we were in the Capital Athletic Conference before. So we played schools like Salisbury, Christopher Newport, University of Mary Washington. So switched to the MAC. So we played Stevenson, Lebanon Valley. First time in the conference, didn't really have any feel for kind of what the conference play was going to be like. Wound up with the COVID shortened season, wound up winning the whole thing. Played in the Collegeville, Minnesota regional, got eliminated, lost 2 games, went home, kind of went home with a sour taste in our mouth. And then senior year, got the call pretty much in January from my head coach at York, basically saying, hey, we're short on arms. We need a couple good starters. We feel like that you've earned your way from being kind of a late inning guy to being a starter. So I was our game 3 weekend starter. Started against Lynchburg, Salisbury, pretty much a bunch of ranked opponents. Definitely was a grind to start, going from throwing 1 to 2 innings at a time, from going to throw 5, 6, hopefully 7 at a time. Definitely took a different training approach. I worked with a previous strength coach, and his philosophy was get as strong as you can. And that obviously the stronger that you get and you're not working on mobility as much, or you're not working on being flexible, definitely took a toll on my body. Definitely felt like I was just kind of moving. I was moving, but I wasn't moving well. I didn't have any fluidity to me. then graduated from York. Was thinking about either going into a police academy or pretty much trying to find a job. Then COVID and everything, heard about the transfer portal. I had two of my pretty much mentors at York. Robert Cheney, he pitched at York. He was a TCNJ dropout, pitched for us at York, was All-American. He went and played at the University of Hartford in Connecticut because of the COVID transfer portal. And then Brandon Haggerty, he pitched at York. He was an ABCA All-American his senior year. He went on to pitch his fifth year at Butler University. So talking with those guys and basically saying, hey, like if you want to go and play, it's kind of the best of the both worlds. You can get a master's degree and get another 2 years of baseball. So that's what I did. Luckily enough, I knew a decent amount of the Salisbury guys just from growing up in Howard County or playing summer ball with them. So basically it was a thing where I emailed the coaches from Salisbury. I wound up pitching against them in the spring, did decently well. And one thing led to another, went on a couple visits at a couple other schools, but basically found my way at Salisbury, and I've never looked back. Pretty much hit campus last fall, basically tried to transform myself into a different type of player, just because I knew that I was playing on one of the top 10 teams in the country. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Love it. Love it. And so when did we connected summer of 2022, and I knew that you were going to Salisbury, and we kind of kept in touch throughout the course of the fall and into the spring and everything. And I obviously followed the team. I followed you. And it was cool to see the progression from the springtime to where you maybe didn't as have the role that you kind of expected, but then College World Series comes around and, you're throwing 4 shutty in an elimination game and on like the biggest stage in D3 college baseball, which was dope. But yeah, after that, that's kind of when we started working together. So talk me through what it was like for you kind of making that decision that, you wanted to go a different direction with your training and try something new and ultimately start working with me.
Yeah. So obviously I've been around different training facilities. I've done the whole remote training. I've done in person. I've done the facility. I've done pretty much any training philosophy that you can name, done it all. Did CrossFit a lot during COVID just to keep myself in as much shape as I could because it was outside. So basically I did a lot of research on Jack, his performance aspect, and just kind of looked at the athletes that he was working with. Honestly, seeing like the transformation that happened with Justin Woodbury kind of definitely made it like, okay, this is what I want to do. Like I'm definitely going to do this. Just seeing kind of how he interacted. I feel like a lot of the issues with the strength coaches now, they just see you kind of as an athlete. They just see you as a number. They don't really see you as like a person outside of the weight room and on the field. But with Jack, I mean, definitely some of the stimuluses that I've been getting from the training are definitely a little bit they're definitely new to me. But I definitely feel my body feels a lot different when I'm training with Jack, when I'm training with you. And basically like by doing your program, it's definitely made me more flexible. Definitely like opened up some of the areas of my body that needed to be opened up. Because like I am a stronger individual. So it was just, for me, it was about staying healthy and basically getting as flexible as I can and just learning how to move well. So.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And so what kind of progress do you think specifically you've seen? Like, and this could be related to the training side, but also just like in-game performance. It could be physical, it could be mental. Like what kind of frameworks do you think that you've adopted over the last few months that you're going to carry obviously into your last year of college ball. But things that you've seen that, you've really made like a ton of progress with, besides the mobility, besides the, the strength and everything like that.
Yeah, definitely. So one thing that I realized is that when I was pitching, usually for me and for the summer team that I played for, it was 1 to 2 innings, like just go out, kind of let it rip and just kind of see what happens. Then there was in an elimination game in the playoffs, I wound up going 5 innings. And by the fifth inning, I felt like I could go six, like I felt like I could throw a whole game. Um, so definitely, I feel like I'm definitely in better shape, just cardiovascularly, as well as just kind of, I feel more refreshed when I go in. Because I know you and I talked about this, kind of cutting the training volume down to like 3 or 4 days a week. Definitely has paid dividends just throughout the summer. From going to throw 10 innings at Salisbury to just throwing 35 over the course of basically 2 months in summer ball. Definitely, if I was if I was training 5, 6 days a week, definitely I would feel myself start to burn out towards the end of the summer. But it felt like I hit the halfway point through the summer season and basically had a full gas tank left. So I definitely feel like that, the training volume, just cutting it down, definitely was a new kind of ideology for me, just because I'm constantly like, go, go, go. Like I want to lift. I like the gym. Like I like to like sweat, like do stuff. So definitely I definitely like the training volume cut down. So it definitely made me stronger because I could push myself. I knew that I had 4 days a week to push myself as hard as I could. And yeah, it definitely made me refreshed throughout the whole summer. I never really felt burnt out. So yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. I think it's important. Like you're one of the guys that I would categorize as like, I think Tim Tebow's talked about this in the past, or like coaches that have coached have talked about, like, there's some guys that need to turn the dial up. There's some guys that you need to turn the dial down. I would categorize you as like, once you turn that dial down, you kind of understand that that's what's going to give you the adaptations that you're looking for, which has been great to see. And the feedback that you've been giving has been awesome. So what, last kind of like, process question for me, I guess, is like, what have you really enjoyed? This could be like communication. This could be just programming style. This could just be, really anything. Like what have you really enjoyed throughout the course of the summer, as far as, what we've been doing together?
Yeah, definitely the communication. I mean, with you, I'm talking to my strength coach, but I feel like I'm also talking to a common peer, not just in the baseball world, but also in like the day-to-day life. Definitely like just talking to you and seeing how you would approach different situations, or whether it's baseball or life or anything. Just kind of having that communication and feeling like that you're like a friend, but you're also like an athlete at the same time. Um, yeah, I mean, obviously, like the program's awesome, and definitely like the communication between you and I feel like is good. We always have an open line of communication. Um, so yeah, and also just like the mental side, like you've definitely kind of opened up like some outings this summer where I felt like I could have done better. You were like, it's all about the process. Like you have to take away kind of what you did well in that outing and what you didn't do well and apply it to the next one. Cause like I tell the guys that I coach on my team, and I tell guys that like doubt themselves, I say baseball's always a marathon. It's never a sprint. You never think of a 40-game season or a 50-game season as an all-out sprint. You got to think about it day by day. Like there's going to be obviously like highs at points and lows at points, and that I feel like applies to life, training, whether it's off season, in season, or just a season, whether that's fall, summer, or spring. So,
Yeah, it's huge. It's important. I think that you being able to collect that and you really embody that as well, I think is really important. And so for that very factor, I'm super excited to see, how you do this upcoming year. It's going to be fun to watch. So What about the last question I have is like, what things would you change if you had to add something to what we were already doing? If you had to add something to, what I could offer you or any other athlete that's kind of watching this, I guess this is kind of a two-part question. One thing is like, what would you improve? What would you add? And the second thing is like, what would you also say to a guy who is not sure what direction to take in his training, not sure what the next step is, like where they want to kind of go, and ultimately what they need to do to play high-level college baseball?
Yeah. So one thing that I guess I would change is just, this is a hard question. I guess maybe like for me, I like to have kind of just like an all out kind of just like a work day. Like you kind of just go in and you either throw or lift, just kind of like see how far you can take your body,
Mm-hmm.
like see how hard you can push yourself. Um, so yeah. And then to a person like that's wants to play high level college baseball, you obviously have to look at where you are in your playing career. Obviously, I'm much more developed physically and on the field as a 17-year-old coming into his freshman year of college. But if you're like one of my best friends, he got cut his freshman year from his school. And then me and him basically trained together sophomore year, and he came back and he played a pivotal role in their pitching staff. So just seeing kind of like seeing people stick through adversity is kind of a big thing of mine. Definitely, like you have to evaluate if you are in college what role you have. If you're a freshman and you're playing at a Power Five school and you're a freshman All American, or you're like the guy to go to, whether it's starting or a reliever, you kind of have to understand that you need much higher level training than a guy that's struggling to get innings his freshman year, or a guy that's struggling to get innings his sophomore year. So it's just kind of trying to take a step back and kind of looking at kind of like a bigger approach to it, rather than looking like, okay, I have to do this from this date to then progress to do this. You almost have to sit back and say, like, I know for me personally, at the end of every fall season, I look back and say, okay, I've been throwing since August and it's now November. I probably want to take some time off, at least a week or two, just kind of live a normal life, just obviously still train, but have fun. Because I know some kids that I've worked out with before, they definitely kind of dig themselves into a rabbit hole of just like, I wake up, I go to the gym, I come home, I throw, then I sit around, I sleep, and then I wake up and do it all over again. Like they never do anything fun outside of baseball. So for me, like whether it's playing golf on my off day or going to fish or hanging out with my friends or whatever, it's just kind of trying to find that balance between like, yeah, you are an athlete and yeah, you are playing high level college baseball, but at the same time, you're 21, 22, 23. I'll be 24 in the fall. So it's definitely just trying to find, it's like work-life balance with a job, but your job, instead of working a 9 to 5 or working shift work, is throwing a baseball or hitting or fielding or doing whatever. So just trying to find that balance between, yeah, I'm definitely an athlete. Like I know I am. I'm a student athlete, but also you're a college kid. Like I preach having fun. Like I preach like I'm a work hard, play hard kind of guy. So yeah, it's definitely just trying to find a balance between, what you want out of it. And ideally, like college baseball, I say this and I'll always say this, like you get out what you put in. Like I played with guys at York that didn't put in a lot. They didn't get out a lot. I played with guys at York. Like I'll reference Rob Cheney again. Me and him, like we got after it 4 or 5 days a week, and we both got out what we put in. We definitely got high results and high yield out of the long days that we put in. So yeah.
Awesome. But yeah, man, I've enjoyed it. I'm super happy with the progress that you've made on the physical side, on the mental side, just the approach to the game. I think you got great perspective here heading into your last year of college baseball. I think you're going to make a hell of a coach one day. And yeah, man, I'm just excited, and I'm super happy that we were able to, put this time in and work together and everything. And there's still a lot more work to do, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's been awesome. So
Yep.
I've enjoyed it.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is Todd. Check him out if you're a college baseball fan. Go check out Salisbury, and Todd will probably be a weekend guy somewhere in the mix, and he'll be one of the leaders on the team. And if you see a if you see a guy that looks like he should probably be in like a powerlifting gym instead of a baseball uniform, you probably got the right dude. So, all right, man, awesome. I appreciate you.
Yep.
All right.